Welcome back. So as promised, let's straight away get the conversation going with the management of Tata Technologies. The company came out with a modest revenue performance for the second quarter. Margins were steady. The question is whether the immediate future is looking a little more challenging, because there was some commentary to that effect in the conference call that took place. Let's pull up a one-year chart on Tata Tech as well. I mean, since the listing, the stock's actually down about 23%, maybe reflecting some of these wider concerns on the automotive side. Just to recap, quarter on quarter, the revenue improvement is 1.6%. The EBITDA margin is steady at 18.2%. We have with us, I think, the management now joining in. Mr. Warren Kevin Harris of Tata Technologies is with us. Mr. Harris, thanks for joining in. So let's start with that very cautious commentary where you're talking about delay in decision making. You're attributing it to a lot of factors, the US election being one. But I want to start by focusing on what the OEMs are saying. A lot of auto OEMs in Europe have already cut their guidance. They're sounding extremely bleak on the immediate sales forecast. What's happening?
Yeah, I think we've seen somewhat of a tapering of electric vehicle demand, both in the US and in the European Union. I think that the drivers for the tapering are somewhat different. I think the US is primarily driven by the uncertainty in and around the election. I think the choice for the electorate represent relatively polarized positions as far as the incentives for electric vehicles, and I think most of the OEMs are really waiting for clarity before decisions are made there. I think in the European Union, I think the challenge and the competition from China specifically is something that is prompting some of our customers to pause. But in both of these situations, we expect clarity to present itself as we move towards the end of the year. So the headwinds that I referenced in the earnings call are something that we expect to be relatively tactical. And despite the market conditions, I also signaled that I expect H2 to be better than H1, which reinforces our confidence around the momentum that we have with the business.
But, I take your point on US election uncertainties and what policy will mean for EVs. But more specifically on Europe and all the guidance cuts that we've seen over here, is there a real threat of EV demand tapering off? And could this be more structural in nature rather than just a one-quarter phenomena?
I really don't think so. I think if you look at the guidance that is being provided, 1 in 5 cars come 2030 is expected to be electrified in the European Union and the United States. In China, we're expecting more than 50% of vehicles to be electrified. So I think the long-term direction for the market is relatively defined. But I think in Europe, I think the OEMs are looking for some form of regulatory protection. And again, in the US, I think we're just looking for clarity in terms of what the new administration will adopt in terms of policy.
All right, Kevin, good to see you. Prashant here, but it's a short conversation. Thank you very much for joining us, and really appreciate it, and hope that things are better going forward. Speak with you soon again.